Hey everyone, it's Jenny Dietrich back with another Spin Sucks Inquisition. And today's guest I met a couple of years ago at Content Jam. And I will just tell this story quickly. Brian Burkhart from Square Planet was the keynote speaker at 9 o'clock in the morning. And to prove a point that he was making, he opened a Guinness and held it up and said, "Is there anybody in this audience who would like to drink this right now?" And our guest for the Inquisition today raised his hand and said yes. And at that moment, I thought, I need to know this person. So please, sir, tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Jon Schickedanz, and I am the founder and president of the Alliance Labs. And the Alliance Labs is essentially a digital communications agency. But what makes us different is that we take our revenue, our profits, and we turn them back into the organization to train the next generation of up-and-coming digital professionals. What makes that unique is that we're picking almost exclusively from a group of kids who don't necessarily have the same advantages as other professionals. They're not born in the same parts of town, or they're not born to the same kinds of parents. And so we really look for kids that come from challenging backgrounds, but who have the grit and determination to make something else of their lives. And it's incredibly rewarding.
And what I love about the business model is, exactly what you said, that you're giving opportunity to brand new college graduates who may not have that opportunity anymore, but you're also training a group of people in your process and in your way so that as they grow through their careers, you're embedding that into the industry.
Absolutely. And the goal for us really is to create greater diversity inside the creative class.
Love it.
One of the things I think we can all recognize is that if you go to any web shop nowadays, it doesn't really look like the place we live. And so the goal for us is, we start with change in our backyard, and we do what we can do right here and right now. And it's a social enterprise, but I believe it's a for-profit social enterprise. The goal, which I think hopefully can serve as an example for other for-profits, to say, social welfare, or the ability to help others, is not contingent on having a lot of money left over. You can work it into your business model,
right?
And still do great work, and I think really make yourself truly differentiated in the process.
So you've been building this business 2 years, 3 years?
We started this business in late 2014.
Late 2014. I remember when it was on a napkin.
That's right.
What's one of the biggest mistakes you've made along this path?
Today?
Well, not today, but maybe in the last 6 months or the last 2 years.
I don't know if we got that kind of I'm a big believer in jump and build your wings on the way down.
I'm a believer in that as well.
And my mom says, ready, shoot, aim. So I think whatever mistakes I may have made doesn't really qualify as a giant screw up, because I think that we really came out of the end better than...
Fair.
Yeah. So, if I'm going to take the long view, there are no mistakes. There are opportunities to evolve. And we've had lots of opportunities to evolve. But I think the biggest, if somebody was going to say, what would you do differently? I would say, start this business 10 years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, trust my gut more. Although I think the fact that we started this business, later in my life, I'm in my upper middle 40s. I think that I'm mature enough now where I can say, we're just going to say, damn the torpedoes, and move ahead. And even though we don't know, we're still going to, we'll figure it out. We'll build our wings on the way down. So trust myself more, and really listen to that inner dialogue that I'm not in control of, but I just been witness to. Some people would call that crazy. I just call that, trying to run a business.
Well, to be fair, Jon, you do look like you're sitting in Dracula's cave, so maybe you're never, ever going to age.
Well, I'm just leasing it from Dracula.
Okay. The floating head. All right, so let's talk trends. We're going into 2017, and you're on the technology side of the whole digital web. What's one or two trends that you're really excited about?
I'm excited about the idea that, we're gonna, at least in our business, we focus a lot on learning, really about adult learning and how human beings intake and impart information.
Yep.
Andrew Hicks, who's our chief education officer, is really looking to innovate in that space, and we're changing our curriculum around so that we can really focus on a higher set of skills, which are not necessarily web specific. So we're looking much more at a 30,000 foot view, strategic view of not only just web design, but communications, semantic, analytics. And I think that sooner than later, maybe not 2017, but I think really in the next 5 years, we're going to see a lot more machines developing stuff for machines. We're going to see that the web developer will be a even harder job to have because it's expected to do much more complicated tasks. WordPress is a great tool, and it makes it very easy for a lot of people to be effective in WordPress.
Right.
So I think you're going to see the bottom drop out of web development land, and you're going to see, very few small businesses living in the $10,000 to $15,000 space, because I think most small organizations aren't going to spend more than $5,000 for a website, if that.
Right.
And the ramp up time to learning how to do that will be quicker and quicker because a lot of that stuff will be done for you. So moving forward, the complexity of what you want a website to do is going to increase, but what's also going to increase is the sophistication of the end user or the client who is purchasing the website. They're no longer going to be brochureware based, right? They're no longer going to be talking about, oh, I just need something to put me up
right.
on.
Right.
They're going to want some level of accountability and interactivity.
Which they should have.
But most of our clients, when we say to them, before we even sit down and talk to them about, well, what do you want, what's the look and feel, we talk about brand, we talk about mission, vision, values, character, and experience, then look and logo. And after that, we say, great, now what do you want to do? What do you want it to do? What's the specific measurable result that you want that website to achieve? And, a lot of them don't really have.
They don't know.
They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Or they say, I don't need that because my business does X.
Yeah. Or we just want to keep up with the Joneses, or we want to, have something that looks modern and doesn't look like crap because we haven't changed our website in 10 years. And that's fine. But we make it very clear to our clients, you got to want to have an objective or else you're wasting your money.
Yeah.
And I think people are going to get much more sophisticated about what those objectives are. And realistically, that's good for us because, our creative director, David Hornwright, is effing brilliant. And
I agree with that. He
really understands how to get, not only just how to get an objective or how the skeleton needs to get built to create that marathoner, but also how to innovate on that. We had a meeting yesterday where, and I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but we had a meeting yesterday and we're just shooting the stuff around with a client, and he came up with this idea that we never would have come up with if we were just sitting in a room not talking, right? We were engaged with a client, and we said, well, what if we did this? And so now we're in beta test for this really cool interactive idea that is all about experience. It's all about cohesive brand activation, and it's got nothing to do per se with the the intricacies of WordPress or the intricacies of data analysis, but it does help and does talk about brand. So long story short, brand is going to be super important. Knowing who you are, why you matter, why people should care is going to be important. And more importantly, how do you measure that? I think is going to be the end all be all.
Well, I want to go back to one of the things you said as you started to talk about the trend, which I think is artificial intelligence, because I've been researching a ton on how AI changes the PR professional's job. And I think so much of what we do can, not necessarily should be, but can be automated. And I think our jobs as professionals as service professionals changes pretty drastically in the next 5 to 10 years.
Oh yeah. I mean, they talk about technology eliminating half of the jobs that are out there right now.
Yeah.
And hey, that'd be great if we got some level of basic income. But at the end of the day, I like my job and I like doing what I do.
Right.
So it's going to be less automated. But here's the thing, and I saw an interesting thing at the CUSC conference last year where they talked about the machines or technology are really good up to a point. And the point is the juncture between a task and a decision. The minute a person has to make a decision, machines are no good at.
Sure.
So anything having to do, I think, with PR, especially looking at strategy.
Sure.
What does company A need with to communicate with person B, as opposed to being able to move product or packages from Cleveland to Chicago.
Right.
They had mentioned in this AI, this person who was talking about AI, he says tens of thousands of drone flights are being flown in Afghanistan, and it's not defensive or it's not offensive. It's moving cargo.
Jeez.
It's real simple. It's the helicopter going up and then flying
over. And, yep.
And those are the jobs that I think is going to be really interesting to see. How do skilled technicians like pilots and truck drivers, bus drivers, although I think when you have people involved, insurance is going to have to weigh in because it's going to be a big deal as to whether or not a human is literally at the wheel.
Right, self-driving cars.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to. I think our jobs are relatively safe so long as we continue to focus on humans, people dealing with people, and sales guys. Sales guys are never going to not have a job. Sales guys and plumbers. True.
So
if you want job security, you know how to sell or be a plumber.
Or be a plumber. So what's one thing about yourself that would surprise most people? I love
this. That I'm actually 5'2".
You are not.
It's funny. I'm pretty open. I'm a pretty open book. So if I told you that I was a ringmaster, that probably wouldn't surprise you.
It wouldn't be true.
No, it would be.
Oh, really?
Yeah. From 1988 to 1990, over the summer,
no,
I was a ringmaster for a circus that was centered out of Pittsburgh. I was going to Carnegie Mellon, and they called the theater department because they had lost their ringmaster. They're going on tour for about a month, and then they needed a ringmaster. And they also needed a head clown. And so I called my best friend, Ben Dooley, who was a nut and a theater major at the University of Ohio. And so we joined the circus, and it was a small, traveling, no animal circus called the Circus Kingdom. It was sponsored by the Methodist Church, and we did. That first tour, we probably did 30 cities.
Come on!
And then the second tour, which was the following summer, it was about 90 days. We did about 100 shows in about 90 days.
Oh!
And so we toured all over the Midwest. We went New Philadelphia, Ohio. We went to Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. We had a summer teen movie of a weekend in Atlantic City or Ocean City, New Jersey. It was crazy, and we slept on floors, and
that is insane. I did not know that.
Yep, that was. It's one of those things. You got paid $100 a week, and it was like, oh, I would never. This is the greatest time of my life, but I would not wish it on my worst enemy.
Right? Yeah. Well, you're young enough that you don't really care. I mean, to do that today would be horrible.
No, we were sponsored by Burger King, so every day was Burger King. I still can't eat a chicken sandwich.
No.
Oh, it's horrifying. Every day. I mean, literally, from the beginning of June to the end of August, every day, Burger King.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, on that note, one of my favorite things to discuss with you over drinks, or technically while I'm drinking and you're drinking water, since the Guinness is the only thing I've ever seen you drink, because you're in a meeting with a client, supposedly, right? Yeah. Is your wealth of knowledge about books. So what are you reading right now?
I'm reading Iron Horse which is actually a Robert Parker based. Although Robert Parker passed away, he was one of my favorite authors. But it's a Virgil Cole book. And I don't know if you're familiar with Virgil Cole. But Virgil Cole is this character played by Ed Harris in the movie Appaloosa.
Oh.
And the thing that's really great about Robert Parker is that he wrote the Spencer books, he wrote the Sonny Randall books. And one of the areas of his genius is that he can talk and write about male archetypes in ways that are not grandiose, they're not comical, they're not caricatures, but they're simple and they're elegant and they're pure. And if you ever want to watch a movie, if you ever want to understand the ideal male archetype, the way men think of the male archetype, it's kind of its purest form. I really believe it. Watch Appaloosa and Ed Harris's performance in Appaloosa.
I do love Ed Harris. So.
Because he embodies this idea of simple, direct, no artifice. And then there's Viggo Mortensen, who plays his right-hand man. And the two of them together kind of create this really great balance between the id and the ego of male identity. Just fantastic.
Okay, I'm writing it down.
I think any guy who thinks about what it is to be a man will find those characters, and really pretty much any Robert Parker character, but particularly those characters, as being so resonant. Because Robert Parker really owns that conversation in a way I've never read anywhere else.
All right, checking it out. I do love Ed Harris, so I'll check that out. Yeah. And what is your latest Netflix binge?
I just finished Luke Cage.
Oh, don't tell me. I'm on episode 4, I think.
Oh man! And then I just started Westworld, so I finished Luke Cage.
What episode are you on with Westworld?
I just finished 3.
Okay.
Oh, and
what do you think? Ed Harris is in that as well.
Yeah, I know, and he plays kind of the anti-Virgil.
Yeah. Yes.
But he does,
bad guy.
What he does. First of all, Ed Harris is, I think, one of the most underrated guys out there.
I agree.
Pollock was a tour de force. He's ridiculous, but he's so good at playing this quiet pressure cooker, right? But it never explodes. It's just there's just so much anger and hate and it's benign viciousness. It's just it's not Lecter-esque, right? It's not like Hannibal Lecter.
Right.
It's just like there's so much bad going on. It's just going to come out in drips, and it's really bad.
And then he does something like Stepmom, where after that movie, I added him to my top 5 list because he's
just fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's what you want out of an actor, right?
Totally.
You're not going to get that kind of performance out of Elijah Wood, but maybe in 50 years you will.
Maybe. And now it's time for the 5-second roll. Drum roll.
Jon, you look so scary over there.
I know. I told him he looks like he's in Dracula's cave.
I'm the big floating head.
I know. You are. You're like a floating head. I feel like this should be a Halloween-themed 5-second rule, but unfortunately it's going to be a Christmas one.
It's almost Thanksgiving even, yeah.
Okay, so yes, it's a Christmas one, which is a little early because you're not our last Inquisition before Christmas, but I just felt very excited about Christmas today.
All right, hit me.
All right.
I'm scared.
Okay, Ginny will go first. Let's see. Ginny, would you please name... Oh, this is a hard one. Will you please name... This is the hardest of all of them. Will you please name 3 plants that are popular around the holidays or traditional holiday plants?
Poinsettias. Pine wreaths. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love that we both
mistletoe. line there. That was awesome.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's great. Okay, John, would you please name 3 ways to wrap a gift?
Bag, newspaper, or drive-by.
What?
Just throw it out the car.
All right.
Is that what you're doing with my gift this year? You're just going to throw it out the car?
Oh, no. It's going to be delivered.
And we'll just stop there.
We won't dig into that further.
We won't dig into that.
Especially coming from Dracula head over there.
Correct. I
know. Okay. Ginny, would you please name 3 things you want for Christmas?
Oh. A new road bike, a Cervelo, if you wouldn't mind. It's about $10,000, so save your pennies. That's all I want.
You know what? I think
diamond earrings. I'd like some diamond stud earrings.
Okay, that's good. That's a solid list.
I mean, I could always use books and lip gloss, and
wine,
running tights. But I think wine is probably. Well, let's just pretend Kelly doesn't see this. Wine, definitely. I said if there's a nuclear war, we'll be okay because we have enough canned goods and wine to get us through like a year.
Perfect. That's good.
Yeah, that's a solid plan.
Right? I think so.
Yeah.
We'll be drunk and eating out of canned food. Eating out of cans.
That's right.
Okay, John, would you please name 3 of Santa's reindeers?
Blitzen, Rudolph, Donner.
That's easy. Now I feel like you should sing the song. Do it.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Donner and Cupid and Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. What do you recall? The most famous reindeer of all.
Oh, that was good. Very nice.
You're gonna cut that part out, right?
No, you have a side career going for you. If this whole, website stuff
doesn't work out. He was a theater major, so.
I was a musician for 20 years. There is no side career. This is it.
This is it.
This is the last stop, baby.
Oh, okay. Ginny, would you please name 3 Christmas carols?
Jingle Bells, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Baby, It's Cold Outside.
Oh, nice. Well done. Okay, John, would you please name 3 ingredients in fruitcake?
Fruit, eggs, flour, molasses.
Good. That's good.
Those are ingredients in fruitcake.
Yeah.
I never made it. I'm just guessing. Am I right?
Yes,
I think that's good. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Well done. Okay, Ginny, would you please name 3 things elves do?
Wrap gifts, sit on your shelf and mock your children, and report to Santa who's naughty and nice.
Very nice. I have to say, and I say this every year, I'm so glad Elf on the Shelf was not popular when I was a child because I would have been freaked out, I think. It would have petrified me. Elf on the Shelf.
This is good to know.
Yeah.
Now, as a parent, I can tell you that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get good behavior.
Correct.
So if a little paranoia, a little
correct.
Big brother is what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we teach them to question authority after the belief in Santa Claus.
After they stop believing.
Right. Well done.
Totally agree.
Okay. John, would you please name 3 of your favorite Christmas traditions?
Okay. So my favorite Christmas tradition is coming downstairs and watching my kids flip out. That's awesome. I like also every year my wife makes me dress. Well, she doesn't. She used to make me. Now she doesn't. I dress up as Santa Claus. So I've got a whole Santa outfit.
You do?
Oh.
So
we're gonna have to see that.
Right?
Yeah. No. You can't bring something up on Inquisition and not
photos.
I'll send a picture because we do pictures every year.
Fine.
So, but it's the other thing. I got the wig, I got the beard, I got the hat. I mean, the whole thing. When my son was 6 months old, she went and she bought the whole outfit and said, my dad did this every year until I was old enough to not care, and so we're going to do it. I'm like, all right. And kind of a new tradition is my birthday is on the 31st of December. And so my dad and his partner come into town the day, actually the 27th. And so I get to see my dad and Jenny, and we get to hang out for my birthday, which is always nice. And then we usually go out and have sushi for my birthday. So that's something I look forward to. I love that.
That's nice. That's fun. You're a New Year's baby. You're a celebration every year.
I was a great tax write-off. I got screwed every year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And it's so much so that my parents felt guilty about it, so they would give me 3 months to pick out another gift.
Oh.
So I would have a party on the 15th of March.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's great. Wow. Well done. Way to work that process.
Yeah. Well, I'm a negotiator.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, last round. Ginny, would you please name 3 of your favorite Christmas movies?
Love Actually. You'll shoot your eye out. Christmas Story. And I actually like the Little Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cartoon. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. I like that one too.
Those are just so traditional. Like you really feel like it's the holidays.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Last one. Jon, would you please name the 3 of the worst gifts you've ever gotten?
When I was 10 years old, I got Hungry Hippos twice.
Twice. I got that. That's a lot of hippos.
There's too many hippos. It was the prime time at my grandmother's house, and you're excited. You've got a dozen other cousins there, and you're like, what are the odds? Your aunt and your uncle buy you the same effing thing, right? So I was just mortified. I'm like, what the?
I love it didn't even take you a second. You're just like, when I was 10 years old, it was traumatizing for you.
Look, when you're 10, these are things that impact you deeply as children.
I'm sure his therapist has heard about Hungry Hippos a lot.
Yes.
Jon, let's talk about that time with Hungry Hippos again. How did that make you feel?
It made me feel used and unappreciated. The other, at one point my grandmother sent my mother a big, this is I was probably around 8 years old, but my grandmother, God bless her, sent my mother a teddy bear and sent me a copy of Martha Stewart's Living Cookbook. So essentially, she just mislabeled it. But I'm looking at this thing, and I just remember it had a picture of Martha Stewart on it, and I'm just going, what?
Oh, man.
And my mother got this awesome teddy bear, this Snow White teddy bear, and I'm like, what the hell?
Your childhood sounds really traumatizing.
Oh my God! Well,
it makes a lot of things make sense now, really.
Yeah, so many. And then the other time I had said to my girlfriend in high school, hey, I just want a big check. And so what does she do? In front of my whole family, she gives me this envelope. And as I pull it out, is literally a 3-foot long check mark. And I'm sitting there, again, with the look of incredulity on my face going, what? I thought you loved me. And my mother, the thing that echoes in my hearing is the cackling my mother
I'm
did.
sure. Your mother is mad you didn't marry that woman.
Right.
Well, we're all, it was traumatic at the time. But it was just over, it's just like the laughing. And I was just like, okay.
That's awesome.
All right. I know where I stand.
It's a very creative person.
God bless us, everyone.
Wow. Well, so the question is, you should have become a Hungry Hippo expert. Like, did you win every game? Because at least if you're going to have 2 of them, you should have practiced a lot.
Well, have you ever played, actually played Hungry Hungry Hippos?
Oh, yes. I used to have it. Yeah.
It's really more fun now when you're baked than it is when you're 10 years old. The goal...
Like when you're baking baked goods, you mean?
Absolutely.
Exactly what he meant.
Like cookies and stuff.
You really learn to
From your
appreciate
Martha
that.
Stewart cookbook.
That's the game you appreciate more in college than you do as an 8-year-old.
Oh, that's funny.
On that note, Jon, please tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs.
Oh, on the inner tubes. You go to thealliancelabs.com, or you can also find me on Twitter at The Alliance Labs. Also, my personal Twitter is at Schickie. The Alliance Labs on Facebook, or Schickie on Facebook. And, pretty much everywhere, fine books are sold.
Well, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was a delight.